because Marcus obviously does not see forever with Grace, the immediate song I thought about is Dhonielle Jones, Where I Want to Be. For those of you who are reading The Wait, which I'm going to record the reactions and the interactions and the discussions we had about The Wait in a different video, because when I say it was rich, it was very rich. So, I love a good song analysis. Anytime I can pull in a song to tie into, or poetry that ties into what we're reading, informational text, I do. But automatically, because this is a love story or a heartbreak story, I automatically thought about a song. So the first song that came to my mind, and I asked y'all for suggestions, and none of y'all gave me none. I don't appreciate that. But luckily, I collaborated with my team member, and the song I came up with that she said was perfect was Dhonielle Jones, Where I Want to Be. And for those of you who have never read The Wait, which I don't know where else you can access it, but I access it through commonlit.org. In The Wait, you have Marcus and Grace, who have been childhood best friends, and now boyfriend, girlfriend, on and off, off again and on again. And I'm trying not to get into my issues with this story, but I'll explain that in the video. So she decides they need to go to this heart hospital to have their heart plucked out of their chest to decide whether or not their love is heavy enough, it weighs heavy enough on their heart to go to separate colleges and still be together. Now, mind you, they could have had a discussion. So you find out while you're reading the story that Marcus definitely, he loves her, but he doesn't see himself loving her forever. So then that posed the question to the rest of us, and me also, was Marcus initiating these breakups, and when he got tired of being with these other girls, that's when he would go back to Grace, okay? Because he admits he never could cheat on her. Then you have Grace, who admits her and Marcus belong together. He is the one. But when the test results come back, it says love budding. So it makes you wonder, did she never love Marcus and all of a sudden she's discovering this love for Marcus? Or does she love Marcus and then all of a sudden something new is emerging because she's discovering this new life, would possibly without Marcus? We don't know. It's so many answers. So the way she ends it, you have to infer and draw a lot of conclusions. But that defeats the whole point of this whole point. I gotta give you some background to understand the song selection. Where I want to be. Because Marcus are not familiar, we've been together since our teenage years. I have a lot of lust in me. I just want to know what it's like to be me without her. Perfect, right? So what I'm thinking about doing for the two songs, I'm going to tell you about the second song in a second. Well, let me go ahead and tell you about the second song. So I was in between with the second song. I thought about doing Monica's Before You Walk Out of My Life, but to me that song wasn't descriptive enough like these other ones are. My coworker gave me Goodbye by Jagged Edge. Now, mind you, I've heard this song 50 million times, but it hit differently now that I know I'm trying to apply it. And then the other song that I thought about was the Manhattans' Let's Kiss and Say Goodbye. First of all, how did I miss that the Manhattans' Kiss and Say Goodbye is a breakup song between people who are cheating on other people? I didn't know that. So then I knocked that one out the water, knocked Monica, and then after hearing Jagged Edge, I realized, yeah. So now what I'm going to decide to do with Goodbye is, because the way both songwriters or both singers frame how they're breaking up with this girl is totally different, even though they're sort of saying the same thing. So what I'm going to ask the class, at the end of the day, Marcus did not want to go through with his heart procedure. So my question to them is, let's erase the whole heart procedure. Before they even attended the heart procedure, how should have Marcus approached Grace about the potential breakup? Is this a better song, or is this a better song, and you have to tell me why? You like. I'm excited. So my nighttime crew, they have not read the story yet. So what I'm thinking about is working backwards and asking them, you're with your high school sweetheart and you realize your childhood friend, this is not working, or not that this is working, you want to explore other options. Which song is a better one to break up with them? And then we'll discuss it. They'll pick one and jot down their answers or whatever, and then we'll read the story, and then we'll go back to reapply it to Marcus. So, because I don't want my nighttime crew to start the story, and then because we are Thursday class, forget it over the weekend. So, and I don't meet with them until Tuesday of next week. And it's usually taking these kids 2 days to read the story. And I know I'll have to shorten my lesson to make sure that we do finish the story next week versus, what's the word I want to say? Like some of the activities I had planned, I'm going to have to shorten it, because what I don't want to do is spend so much time on the activities that we don't read the story and we don't get the gist of it. Like I may have to skip around, cut some parts out of the story so they can get just the gist of it and the details of it. Because I do not want to spend almost 4 days reading the story, because the story is longer than I expected. Nevertheless, I want them to get the meat of it so they can understand Grace and Marcus' their characteristics, their ambitions, their inner conflicts, to analyze really who they are as a person to tie into the standards, if that makes sense. So